For Roy Williams, it was a chance for his team to get a bit of a wake-up call. He knows they're good, but he also knows they didn't play well last night.
It's a big-time game. I don't know how many lead changes, but there were a lot of them. Steve and I just went over some of the things when the score was tied. The timeout before, I told Justin, just take another split second, just get set a little bit more. And I think he did that and made the three at the top of the key, and that gave us a 3-point lead, and then we went up 6.
And they ended up losing that game, and North Carolina, of course, still formidable probably in the tournament. Speaking of the tournament, conference tournament action right now, Princeton is leading Yale. Looks like Princeton's going to the tournament, 71-58, half a minute to go in that Ivy League championship game. Princeton will enter with a 22-7 record on the season. Not bad at all. Also in progress right now, Rhode Island is battling Virginia Commonwealth, and Rhode Island leads it midway through the second half by a score of 48-42. In the SEC, number 8, Kentucky has a 12-point advantage over Arkansas at the break, 42-30 still to come. Michigan, Wisconsin, Troy, Texas State, and Cincinnati, SMU for spots in the tournament. Baseball, Dominican Republic leading Colombia 3-1 in the 4th inning at the World Baseball Classic. This is NBC Sports Radio.
Did you know that more than 100,000 people a day are downloading game apps? Mobile apps have become a normal part of everyday lives. Now there's a new exciting sports app that lets you play along with your favorite professional sports team in real time. With this fantastic app, you can predict the next play and even outguess your favorite team members. The more predictions you get correct, the more points you receive. Points can be exchanged for cool prizes, like your favorite jerseys, hats, airline tickets, sports tickets, even a new car. You can play this amazing sports app by yourself, with your friends, or even with a large group of fans from all over the world. This incredible sports app is called Fire Fan, and it's available right now. Check it out. Sign up today at www.freefirefanapp.com.
This is KCAA.
On February 16th, Loma Linda University Children's Hospital's 24th Annual Storybook Foundation Gala, presented by Hard Rock Hotel Palm Springs, McCarthy and MPS celebrated and took a journey to hope and healing. This inspirational night would not have been possible without generous sponsors who each year allow us to provide exceptional care to over 160,000 children in our community. Thank you for joining our campaign for a new children's hospital tower. For more information or partnership opportunities, go to lomalindakids.org or call 1-800-825-KIDS.
Hey guys and girls, this is the Commish with KCAA Radio, and if you're feeling blue with the flu, then you need to think Empire Clinical Research. Empire Clinical Research is currently enrolling people sick with the flu for an investigational flu study that can speed up recovery. Qualified participants may be compensated for time and travel. So think Empire Clinical Research and call 909-981-5321. Again, that number is 909-981-5321, and let them know that you heard it with the Commish.
KCAA.
Do you have to ride the bus or depend on someone else for a ride? Is your current car giving you problems or just getting too old? Nearly everybody needs a car, but most people don't have enough money lying around. That's where car financing from Credit Yes comes in. For over a decade, Credit Yes has helped millions of people get the auto loan that's right for them. We want to help you too, and for free. Whether you have bad credit, no credit, or even gone through bankruptcy, we could help you get a car loan. We believe that everyone deserves a second chance. If you call right now, we could find you the right financing option, no matter your credit history. 855-669-7131. Every call is absolutely free and there's no obligation, meaning there's nothing to lose. Now is the time, and it's probably not always going to be this easy. We even have programs that may allow you to put zero money down. Don't wait any longer to get the car you need, no matter your credit history. Call Credit Yes for free right now. 855-669-7131. That's 855-669-7131. One last time, 855-669-7131.
KCAA.
I'm sick and tired of hearing things from uptight, short-sighted, narrow-minded hypocrites.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Truth Only Show here on KCAA, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and 102.3 FM. We are back with another episode of the Truth Only Show for you today. We would like to invite you to go to truthonlyshow.com and check out some of our previous videos. On our website, there is also all of our videos and all of our email addresses and contact information. So go ahead and go to truthonlyshow.com and check us out. And you can also email us at truthonlyshow@gmail.com. But now, here's the host of the show, David Rodriguez.
Good morning, everyone. Great to have you here with us today on another episode of our show, The Truth Only Show, where we bring you nothing but the truth. We try to stay away from opinions. And, yeah. Okay. Anyways, I have a little technical difficulty here for a minute. Let's get this thing straightened out. I want to thank all of you listeners out there, for all of you that are first-time listeners or some faithful listeners. Okay, we're getting everything worked out here. Anyways, I want to give special thanks to the people that make the show possible, and still get working out some of these little technical difficulties here.
There we go. All right.
We're getting it. We're getting it. Okay. Okay. And, thanks to the people that make the show possible. Our great engineer, Mr. Joe Pagano, our webmaster, Mr. Joel Strouser, and my co-host and producer, Michael. And I want to let you, first, for you new listeners out there, I want to let you know what the show's all about. The show's all about human nature. In other words, your true nature. And when it applies to your nature, that applies to all of us, because it is the same with all of us. Sure, we have different beliefs, we have different ideas, we come from different cultures, backgrounds, and everything else. But when it comes to your nature, we are all the same in that sense. And basically, I can tell you what your nature is. It's what we're talking about is your beliefs and your ideas. And want to let you know that for sure that you understand this concept, that it is done unto you as you believe. Very simply, what that means is that your life will respond and you will live according to your beliefs. Beliefs about yourself really is what we're talking about here. And the only thing that can change circumstances in your life and just begin to create a new experience for yourself is by changing your belief. And I'm not trying to say that whatever it is that you're believing, what you're experiencing now is not good. No, I'm not saying that at all. You might be living a wonderful life, beautiful life, and you might not want to change anything, which is fine. That is fine for you. If you like the way things are for you, that's great. But I know that there are many people that would love to bring some changes in their life. Bring, a little more health, a little more happiness, a little more joy, peace, a little more, let's say, financial success. So there's a lot of things maybe we would like to change in our lives. And the only way really to change it is by understanding your true nature, which is, it is done unto as you believe. So maybe change your beliefs and you can change your life. Today I want to talk about a subject that I think a lot of us need to do a little bit more of, and that is relax your mind. Because you know what? Too many people spend a lot of their times worrying about problems, worrying about circumstances, worrying about their situation, even to the point of getting stressed out. Now, it is totally unnecessary to live your life that way, because remember, it is done unto you as you believe, which means that if you think your life is just full of problems all the time, and you continue to believe that about yourself, that is what you will experience. You will experience more of the same. What I'm talking about here is relaxing your mind. Think about this. Have you ever watched children playing? Like if you go to McDonald's or you go to Carl's Jr.'s, have you ever watched the kids that are out there playing on the toys that they have? If you notice them, all they're doing is having a wonderful time running up and down the slides, jumping down into that pit that has all those little plastic balls, and they're just having a wonderful time. They go outside and play for a while, actually, and the parents have trouble to getting them to go back inside to eat because they're just having so much fun. Just think of the world. Think about when you were that way. Think about when you lived your life that way, when you were a child, when you had nothing. Every day was an adventure. Every day was fun. I'm talking about when you were a small child. You know, this world was fascinating. And every day you get up and you just go out and you would just see what you could discover new that day. And you didn't have any of the worries. You didn't have all the stress about paying bills. You didn't have the stress you didn't worry about your health. You didn't worry about any of those things. So that's what we're talking about here today, is relaxing your mind. And, you know, on this show, I do not talk about religion, but I do talk about Scripture, because Scripture, when you do begin to understand its real purpose, it can really have some fascinating changes in your life, really great changes when you understand the true meanings of what Scripture is all about. One of the things, when I began to understand these truths, was one of the things that really hit me was these words, that know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And that really hit me hard when I started investigating and looking into truth. I said, you know, that's the only thing that will really set me free, is understanding truth. Yes, I can tell you for a fact that's the only thing that can set you free. And that is one of the reasons why I named the show the Truth Only Show, because that's what we talk about here. And it is your thoughts, it is your thought world that will either have you in turmoil or will set you free from all the issues of life. But it's all dependent on what you focus your attention on. So another thing from the Scripture that was so powerful to me, when they asked the great teacher, when they asked him, what do I have to do to get into the kingdom of heaven? And he said these very simple words, so deep, so profound. He said, you must change and become as a child, or you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Think about that. You must change and become as a child, or you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. And we all know what he said about the kingdom of heaven. He said it was within. So what he was really talking about was your thought world. Your thought world will either create your heaven or it will create your hell. And going back to what I said about children, this world is beautiful. I mean, children do not worry about, they don't have all these worries, they don't have all these pressures. And and we can say, well, that we're older now, we do have bills to pay. Of course you do. We all do. We all have responsibilities, all of us. But what I'm talking about here is, do you ever take time to relax your mind and let those things go for a while? And try to go back to that place where you were at a time when you didn't worry about all of those things in life. You didn't You didn't focus all your attention on paying bills and your bad relationships and financial problems. You didn't spend your time thinking about all of those things. So what I'm talking about is going back to that place where you can let all that go for a while. Relax your mind. You can do it. You know, the mind is an incredible thing. I kind of, what I have learned now, my mind is like, it's in two different parts. You know, it's the part when I'm conscious and I can make a decision to think about what I want to think about. And I noticed that when I choose to think about good things, choose to think about pleasurable things, choose to think about peaceful things, I noticed that my mind begins to go in that direction. It like follows along. It's like I have a choice, I'm conscious, and I make a decision to think a certain way, and my mind follows along. And when I've learned to do that more and more, I noticed that I can get myself into a peaceful state. I notice that I can get myself into a much more relaxed state by making a decision to think more better. Think about better things. Think about good things. And let the bills go for a while. Let the pressures, let the job problems with the job go. Let all that go for a while and relax and make a decision to think what you want to think. Make a decision to think what you want to experience. And you'll be amazed at how your mind will go in that direction. You know, some people will call it meditation, which it is a form of meditation, but I like to look at it this way. I like to think about it that I can get myself in whatever state I want to, whenever I want to. Because I have learned to do that. I have learned to get my mind in whatever state I want to be in. If I want to be in a state of joy, I just tell myself and I just say it. I think it and then I become it. If I want to be in a relaxed, totally relaxed state, I just make a decision to be, and I am. Your mind is incredible. And the thing is, you do have control over it. But if you never understand that you know what, and that is human nature. Because what I'm talking about myself, it's also true about you. And you know, something that I want to mention, you know, when the great master teacher said that you must change and become as a child to enter into the kingdom of heaven, he knew that. He knew what I'm telling you to be true. He knew that was true. He knew that you could get yourself in that state of total joy, total peace, in a relaxed state where things are great in your mind. Take yourself off all the pressures of life. You can remove yourself from them anytime you want to. But of course it takes practice. It takes practice. Everything takes practice. And the more you practice, the better you get at it. And the more you practice, the quicker you get at it. You get to get yourself into whatever state that you want to be in. That's what's amazing. That's what's incredible about all this. That's what's incredible about his teaching. What he was, I believe to be true. What I hear now outside in the world out here, I hear people talking about being born again. But I get the impression that they think you just say a few words and that's it, you're born again. I don't believe that to be true. I believe to be true is what we're talking about here today. being born again, of course you're not going to be born again, but you can go back to that place where you were when you were first born. When you were in a state of bliss, where everything was beautiful, everything was fine, you had no hatred, you had no jealousies, you had no envy, you had no stress. You can go back to that again. Back to that state again. It is possible. It's within your nature to do that. It's within your nature to accomplish it. That's what he meant by being born again. Creating this beautiful experience in your mind, which you can do. I know you can do it. I wouldn't be sitting here telling that you can't if I hadn't proven it myself to be true. But because I know that it's true, I know that you can do it, because in that sense, you are not any different than I am. Sure, you might have different customs, you may have some different beliefs, but when it comes to that, I know that you can do this, what I'm talking about. And it's up to you. It's a decision. You can say to your mind whatever you want to say. Some people, I know I've had some people say to me that they don't like this concept about saying, powerful things about yourself, saying that things are great, my life is great, my life is wonderful, because they believe that you're lying to yourself. And they don't like the concept of lying to themselves. Well, I can tell you one thing for a fact, that if you've been having problems, if you have a lot of struggles in life, if you have stress in your life, you know why you have them? Because you have been lying to yourself. You've been lying to yourself, telling yourself that that's the way it is, that's the way life is, and that's the way life has to be. That's a lie also, because it doesn't have to be that way. So what I'm saying here is that if you're worried about lying to yourself, well, why not just change the lie? Why not make it a good lie? Something that will bring change in your life. Something that bring new things, will bring new joy, more peace, more happiness, and more control over your circumstances. I know that. Let me tell you something about myself. When I was, because for years I was faithful to my church, faithful to my religion. I was faithful. I was doing everything that I thought I needed to do. But I can tell you for a fact, and this is a fact, when I was living those years, some of those years as time went by turned out to be the most miserable years in my life. Those were the years where I hit the bottom. I hit the bottom point in my life. I hit my rock bottom were in those years. And at the same time, financially, I was doing the best that I have ever done financially during those years. So financially, I was doing great. I was a faithful and loyal churchgoer. But those were some of the worst years of my life. So I knew that something was missing. I knew that there was something that I didn't understand. I knew there was something that I needed to learn. And when I began to separate myself from that life, and I began to search for truth, I began to discover that these truths that the great teacher was teaching are true. That the kingdom of heaven is within. You can create any type of world. You can create any type of world within your mind, because the only life that you can live is the life that is within your own mind. You cannot live a different life other than what is in your own mind. So if that life that you're living is a life of struggle and hassles, and you're struggling financially, you're struggling with relationships, if you're struggling with all those things in life, it isn't where you're going or what church you're attending. It's not that. It's within yourself. It's understanding the truth about who you are. Understanding and knowing that you can, in the sense become as a child. But I'm talking about as a child lives with joy and peace and harmony and in bliss. No worries, no struggles, no life. I'm sure you've thought about that before. Many of us have thought about that before. Wouldn't it be nice to be now at our age, at the age we are now, and go back to where children are with no worries and no stress? I know you've probably thought about it before, but I'm telling you that it is a fact that you can become that way and still deal with all the responsibilities that you have as an adult. You can deal with every responsibility that you have, but still you can learn to have a much more pleasurable, much more peaceful, much more enjoyable life by learning the truth about yourself. And the truth is, it is done unto you as you believe. Change your belief, change your life. Don't go away. We'll be right back. We're going to have a discussion on this topic. And remember, you're listening to KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, 102.3 FM, and this is the Truth Only Show at truthonlyshow.com. We'll be right back.
I like the way sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown, and I wanna sleep with you in the desert tonight, with a billion stars all around, 'cause I got a peaceful, easy feeling, and I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already standing on the ground. And I found out a long time ago what a woman can do to your soul. Oh, but she can't take you anyway. You don't already know how to go. And I got a peaceful, easy feeling, and I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already standing on the ground. I get this feeling I may know you as a lover and a friend, but this voice keeps whispering in my other ear, tells me I may never see you again, 'cause I get a peaceful, easy feeling,
right, welcome back. That was a Peaceful, Easy Feeling. And that song is appropriate for your title. What's your title today?
Well, my title was to relax your mind and get a peaceful, easy feeling because, I mean, the topic is that because you can do it. But too many people are way too stressed out, way worried too much about their health, worry too much about many things that are not worth worrying about. Worrying never fixes anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So how are you supposed to go about doing that?
Well, that's why what I said in my talk was that I've discovered that, it's, I mean, I don't want to go into
Is
any.
there something specific that you actually do, or is it a general way of doing it, or whatever?
It's
How
just,
do you do it?
I've discovered a way to get myself into whatever mood that I want to be in. And usually when I take time to go do that, it's usually I want to be in a good mood, in a peaceful mood, in a get my mind clear so I can see things in the right way. Because you don't see things in the right way when you got all the stress and all this. You can't see things right. You can't see straight. All the worry and stress blinds you. You can't really see anything right. The only way that you can really see things the right way is when your mind is free and clear of all worries and stress. Then you can see so much clearer. It's so much better.
And how do you do it?
Well, I don't know what, maybe in psychology what they would call this, but you know what? To me, it's just a decision. I just sit down in a quiet place. I just sit down and I just say to myself, I'm going to relax and be at peace. I just say to myself that's what's going. And it's like when we talk about the mind, I'm beginning to feel like it's a separate thing. In other words, you can say to your mind what you want, and it just goes to work and responds. It does. It just goes to work and it becomes what you want it to do. It'll do what you want it to do. I mean, it's like your servant. Your mind is like your servant. You just sit down, relax, and tell it what you want, and tell it what's going to happen, and it goes to work and does it. I mean, I don't know how much simpler I can say it because that's what I do. I get into a nice, quiet place, in my own world, in other words, and I just tell myself, I'm going to relax. I'm going to just be relaxed and be at peace. And that's it. And my mind goes to work, and I get there. And it used to take more work, but now I do it instantly. I can do it anywhere. I can do it while I'm driving. I can actually do it when I'm driving. When I'm driving, and I don't want to be thinking about, anything, but all I just say is while I'm driving, even though I'm paying attention to the road, my mind is free and clear to think the things I want to think. And they're good things. They're not worries. They're not stress. They're not problems.
Mm-hmm. But how did you start off being able to do that? I mean, because you said it wasn't easy in the beginning, right?
Well, it's not easy because where most people are in the habit of thinking more negative things. Mm-hmm. Most people are in the habit. A greater part of most people's days, I believe, are in the negative. A negative in this sense. I don't mean anything really bad. No, I don't mean that. They're in the negative means they're worried about something that they do or didn't do on their job, or they neglecting to do, or having a problem at their job, or having a problem with their children, with a relationship or something. Those are the kind of things that I call negative, because we shouldn't have all those problems.
I think we have a phone call over there. Let's go to that phone call. Hello.
Hi, how are you this morning?
Hey.
Great.
Is that Bill?
This is Bill, right?
All
hey,
right.
how you doing?
I know you were asking a question there about how do you get started in using the principles.
Right.
And I wanted to say the first thing you have to do is realize that this may be something that you can use. If you've been trying other things and haven't worked,
Right.
then you need something new to try.
Right.
And so when you first get into this, you start listening to the principles, and you will begin to hear a lot of truth. But you need to have like someone like David to help you. In other words, he helped me. And I've been in metaphysics a lot of years, but I got off track. But he was able to give me a few good pointers to get me back on track. If you're not really familiar with this, you may need to get like a coach or a mentor or someone else. So if a person listens to the program, they want to get, I think they should call David and maybe talk with him, and he'll talk with you and kind of get you to open up to find out where you are, because people are in different stages of their life. And a lot of people don't want to believe this. A lot of people say it's mumbo jumbo. A lot of people say this, but David know it works. I know it works because it's improved me a great deal in just the last year. So I have had a great volume of success. I've gone where I wanted to go in my life just by using these principles. And if you don't know these principles, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you first to start accepting them and really using them. And that's basically all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you very much for calling in, Bill, and thank you very much for your words. And but I want to let all the listeners know who's calling in right here, because Bill is a wonderful, wonderful friend, more than just a friend of mine. Bill is, am I correct, Bill? If you don't mind, 86?
Right, that's good.
Okay. Bill is 86 years young, okay? And I say 86 years young, and I mean it, because I still do some physical work, okay? I'm semi-retired, but I still do some physical work. I want to tell you a little something real quick about Bill, and he is telling you the truth about everything that he said. I did some work at his house, and he is 86 years old. We had a big pile of dirt that needed to be moved, and this is a true story. I'm not making this up. Bill stood right there with me, shoveling. I mean, he shoveled for at least 3 hours at 86 years old, shoveling dirt. And I mean, a lot of work. He did a lot of work at 86 years old. He really amazed me. Bill is really incredible because he practices these principles. But if you know Bill, he's like a 30-year-old. I mean, he thinks young, he acts young, and I was really impressed with his physical condition. I mean, I was just amazed. And anyways, thank you, Bill, for calling, and I really appreciate it.
Bill,
right, I'm always, yeah.
We're talking about how to get into a relaxed state of mind. How do you do that?
Well, to get in a relaxed state of mind, it's very simple. You can just sit down, take a deep breath, take it in and count like 1 or 2, and then breathe it out. Do that 3 times, and you should be in a pretty good relaxed mood.
Mm-hmm.
And controlling your mind is very important, because a lot of people can't control their mind. They'll start to think about one thing and something else to hit up. They'll start to think about they don't stay focused. You have to stay focused. You know, someone said if you do something 10,000 times, you are an expert in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's basically what you're working toward. You're working toward building your mind up. That your mind is most likely has been distorted in the beginning with a lot of disbeliefs in there. So the idea is to follow the subject that David was talking about today. Your belief is your destiny. That's what you're thinking and you're believing. So you have to really go in there. And a lot of people have trouble changing their beliefs. They figure, well, I've been believing this for so long, but if it's not working for you, this is the best program you will ever find in your life. If it's not working for you, to get you back onto the track that you would like to be on.
That's the whole thing about, like you say, Bill, it's making a decision. Are things working for me the way I've been doing them now? The way I've been living is the way I've been living, is life the way I would like it to be? And if you ask yourself that question and you make the decision and you finally say, you know what, I'm not happy with the way things are. Things should be a lot better. Well, things can be a lot better. And that's what that's what we're here to do, to help you so you can improve whatever you want. You can change anything you want in your life. But that's by learning how to control your thoughts.
Definitely. And that's very difficult for a lot of people to understand because they want to think something else has been in charge of their good and something else has been in charge of their bad. They think it's just, maybe like luck or perhaps some way. Yeah. But it's all about your thinking and your thoughts. David, my wife, want to say something.
Okay. Judy, good morning, Judy.
Good morning. One of the things that I do is when I sit down to meditate, I tell myself that I just want to forget about everything that I thought about last night, this morning, and the night before. Mm-hmm. And let it fall by the wayside and just focus my mind on what I want to think about.
Right.
And then I just relax and I allow it to happen. And usually I'm able to concentrate on what I want to say.
Right.
And think about and tell myself. And that's one way that I do it.
Right.
And I just wanted to share that with you.
Well, what you said, Judy, is basically what I also do myself. It's what I said. I tell myself what I want to feel like, what I want to experience, and my mind goes there. My mind just follows along, and it creates that.
Yeah, well, we're going to get off so you do your program. I just want to tell people to do this one thing. Just try this one thing. Think good.
Right.
If you can think good, every time something comes to your mind, tell yourself that's not good. Tell yourself, I'm not thinking about that. I'm only thinking about what's good. Try that for 3 or 4 days, and don't you see if your life don't change.
Right.
It will definitely change.
Right.
I'm just thinking good. That's a simple one that anyone can do.
Right.
Everything that happens to me, I'm going to let myself think only good.
And where does your life go? In a good direction, doesn't it?
Right.
That's great.
David taught me that too. Anyway, I want to get off and let you do your program.
Well, but I for all you listeners out there, you just heard from Bill and Judy. I just want to let you know, go online and look up Grandpa Speaks. And go online to Grandpa Speaks, and you can get his show. Bill also has a show. It's a show focused a little more on seniors, but it's really good for anybody. But go on that website, and you can listen to his shows. He's got some great things for seniors and for everybody, really. But you can get a lot of good ideas from their show. So thank you again, Bill and Judy, and you can call anytime.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. All right. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and discuss a little more.
Okay.
All right, welcome back to the Truth Only Show. We're here talking about relaxing your mind, and you had something that you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, I want to make this. I want to make this comment. If have you any of you ever heard this saying? If you think you can't, you're right. And if you think you can, you're right. Because those are true statements. And why? It goes back to what we were talking about here a little earlier. When you tell your mind something, your mind goes to work and produces it for you. Well, here's a perfect example of it. If you think you can't, your mind goes to work and gives you all the reasons why you can't. And it'll bring up more reasons for you why you can't do something. But if you think you can, your mind will go to work again and begin to give you reasons why you can do something. So see, that's exactly what I was talking about when you asked me about how to get your mind into a certain place. You just tell yourself. You tell yourself, and your mind will go to work. And if you say that I'm going to become peaceful right now, I'm going to become peaceful. And you relax, and all of a sudden you start to become peaceful. You feel better. Your mind goes to work and does what you want. It's like your servant. I mean, it's like we have a servant. We should take advantage of it, use it to bring about the good that you want in your life. Use your mind. It's the most powerful tool, and it is the only tool that you have to change anything in your life. You have nothing else. Only your mind to create the better experiences for yourself. You have nothing else. It is your servant. Use it.
During your talk, you were also talking about becoming like a child.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Well, think about a child. A child, as he's just born, he's been, let's say, give him 4 or 5 months, 6 months, he's starting to roll around. He's not just going to lay there and die. He's going to start more rolling around. He rolls around. He learns how to turn over. He learns how to stand up in the crib. And then he learns to grab a hold and pull himself up. And then he learns to eventually try to climb out of the crib. And then he wants to learn to walk. And then he learns to walk. Then he learns to run. Then he learns to look at all the things that a child is constantly learning something new all the time. And then he goes to school and he learns to read. He learns to write. He learns to draw. He learns to do all kinds of things. And then he gets older. He learns to play a sport, plays baseball, play football. In other words, there isn't anything that child doesn't believe he can't do. If those children had the beliefs of some adults, many adults don't believe that they can do anything. But that child, look at all the things that he learns to do because he's a champion. He is a conqueror. There isn't anything that he doesn't believe. He goes out there and he learns to play baseball, learns to play soccer, learns to paint, learns to draw, learns to do all kinds of things, talk and read. And the things are an incredible amount of things that he learns to do. And he doesn't sit around and say, oh, I can't do that and I can't do that. Yeah, as he begins to get older, because he starts taking on the beliefs of the adults. Think about that. That child that is learning how to do all of these incredible things, he's a champion, he's a conqueror. When he starts losing that is when he starts taking on the beliefs of the adults. Because the adults don't believe they can play an instrument. The adults don't believe that they can sing a song. The adults don't believe that they can go to school. The adults don't believe that they can do all these things. So where do you think that child is growing up, picks up his beliefs? He picks it up from the adults, all the non-believing adults. So when we talk about becoming a child, is go back to that. Do not be afraid. That child's not afraid that he can't do this, that he can't. He's not afraid. He's got no fear. And why don't you become as a child again? Don't be afraid to start a business. Don't be afraid to take a new job. Don't be afraid to go to school. Don't have all these fears. Go back, become as a child again. That's why the great teacher said you must change and become as a child in order for you to get into the kingdom of heaven. You can You can learn to have peace and joy and happiness with your mind, the only tool that you have to create that experience. And that born-again principle is not what I've been told when I go out into this world and I listen to these people. They just, so many of them just say, all I have to do is say these words and that's it. That is a bunch of nonsense. It doesn't work. I've seen too many examples of people that have said that are living very miserable lives. That does not work. The truth is the only thing that will set you free, and the great master was teaching the truth, and we're ignoring it. We are ignoring the truth. You're ignoring the truth about yourself, about all the potential that you have. You're ignoring it and following along all these myths that are being taught out there in this world. So that's what you got to get away from and begin to learn the truth. That's what we have on this show. That's why this is the truth only show, where that's all we're going to give you. You can either accept it or just kick it out, ignore it. That's up to you. But we're telling you, we're giving you principles that work for your life. They will change your life forever. And it is all within you. It is not, if you believe that the outside world is controlling you inside, then you got it backwards. It's not your exterior that controls, it's your interior that controls the exterior. Everything is within you. That's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You create your experience. The only world you can live is the world within your own mind. Create a beautiful world within your own mind, and you will create a beautiful exterior world also.
So I think that we're near the end, but can you tell the people listening, like, what should they go and do to get into that relaxed state today? Like, where should they try to find a quiet place, or what do you suggest? What do you suggest that they go and try?
Well, the only thing I can say is a quiet place. Everybody, we're all living, we have different environments, each and every one of us. I have my place where I go. I can say that it's my church. I go park at a nice quiet place. I do that daily. Find a nice quiet place when I'm alone, and I go within myself. So I recommend that you find that place, even if it's for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, in a quiet room. Just be alone with yourself. And it is self-talk. Just say to yourself what you want. Just tell your mind what you want. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And create that calm, create that peace within yourself. You can do it anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. You can do it in your car before you go to work. Maybe sit out for 5 minutes or whatever. And you can do it maybe when you get to work 10 minutes early. Sit outside for a little while and relax. And take these principles seriously because they work. That's the only thing that's going to change your life. The change doesn't come about any other way. Change comes about within yourself, within your own mind, within your own thinking, within your own world. So you have to find a place to be alone by yourself.
Well, that is about all the time we have today. Right. But before we go, we want to remind everyone to go to truthonlyshow.com and check out our past videos and hopefully send them to a friend. Send them to truthonlyshow.com.
And we also want to remind you, as we do each week, something that is also very important. If you have or know someone who has an irregular heartbeat, a slow heartbeat, a fast heartbeat, that is experiencing any kind of dizziness, fainting, or any other symptoms related to the heart, we highly recommend the brilliant Dr. Trong Duong. And he's an electrophysiologist. I believe it's the latest. He's got the latest technologies of the heart. Very, very important. Very wonderful work that he does. And his number is 877-773-8664. Remember, 877-773-8664. Okay. And we want to remind you that you're listening to the David Paul Band. We recommend you go to davidpaulmusic.com. Check out the calendar for a great night of entertainment. And we may see you there one of these nights. So do that, and thank you for being with us. And we will see you next week right here on Truth Only Show at truthonlyshow.com.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.